Welcome to the Soul Touched by Dogs podcast, the show for dog lovers who see dogs not as toys or tools, but wise souls worth our respect and care. I'm Anke Herman, and I'm your host. I talk to pawsome humans, people who do great work for dogs and their people. So come and join us for today's conversation. Hello and welcome, Denise. I always love
Hi.
starting with a bit of a giggle.
Yeah,
So
well,
lovely to have you. So lovely to have you. Where are you based? Where are you in this lovely world?
I
And
am in Dublin, Ireland. Yes, right
I've
beside
still
Phoenix
got that on
Park,
the bucket list.
right beside Annie Phoenix's park. We've renamed it. It's not
Mm,
Phoenix Park anymore. It's Annie Phoenix's park. And
I
we did
think
bring her up
that's
there when she was over. She got to see the deer, got to go to the restaurant and everything. So it was loads of fun. So
awesome, awesome, awesome. So, what's your business with dogs? What are you good to do with dogs?
I used to do a lot with dogs. Um, I did do a lot with dogs. Um, I was okay. Let's rewind. I'll go back to the beginning. So when I started as a trainer, when I started training as a trainer, I was also working as a puppy walker for the guide dogs. So that's a volunteer job. You know, you take a few dogs on for a year at a time, just bring them out, socialize and whatnot. And it suited me fine. It was great because I was coming off the back of recovering from a long-term illness, and I needed to get myself out there, kind of just get myself doing something. And I've always loved animals. Like when I worked in the film studio, there was an animal wrangler the door opposite me in the hallway, and I was in there more times than I was in with the architect. So it was like, yeah, animals all the way. I did not know at the time there was such a thing as a dog trainer. You could make a business out of dog training. Because like we grew up with Barbara Woodhouse in the 80s on BBC going walkies and using a choke chain. I was like, that's not nice. Yeah, that's and she had a little tweed skirt and big horn rimmed glasses. And it's like, yeah, we just thought like you have us, like I say, that was late 70s, early 80s. It's going way back. So at the time that I started with the guide dogs, I was not a trainer. I was just somebody who was learning how to train dogs independently to the guide dogs. And the more I learned, the more questions I had. And as Sarah Fisher says, always ask, never stop asking, ask questions, ask questions. So each time I asked, and then I came across another charity that was the Irish Dogs for the Disabled. And I loved their ethics, I loved their ethos, and I just loved everything they did with the puppies aligned with what I wanted, what I wanted to see in training. So I kind of jumped ship, went over to them, and I have done a couple of pilot training courses for them. Pilots in there was one in a prison, there was one in a rehab facility. They have this amazing training camp going on in prisons in Ireland in a women's facility, and kind of a low, can't even remember the name of it now. It's kind of like a buddy program where the dogs go in, and it's kind of a very non-restrictive type of prison, I suppose is the best word for it. So I was really enthralled by these programs. So I jumped at the chance to do pilots in two of them. I loved it. I have been working with dogs in a professional capacity for about 17 years. Um, I then took on one of the dogs I took on that I was training. He looked a bit wonky. He actually did. There was something wrong. About 6 months old, and I was thinking, his leg looks a bit odd. And of course, one thing led to another. So I was being extra careful. He was a working dog and all this. Um, Long story short, he was diagnosed with severe elbow dysplasia, and it was bilateral. and arthritis.
Mhm.
He was only 14 months old. So that was pretty bad. So I kind of said it to the supervisor, yeah, we have to do something for him. But given that it was a new charity at the time and how much these operations cost, it was unreal. So I said, well, you know what? He's such a little dote. All dogs deserve the best. So I kind of got it in my head, like, I'm a dog trainer, I can do something. So I was running these classes. They were free. I was just everybody was meeting me in the park, and we go through kind of question and answer, and then they just leave a donation, and that was going through towards the operation fund. Um, I was bagpacking in the local supermarket with big buckets, like advertising the charity. I start putting out. I went back to my reset button, which is always art. So I put out T-shirts and hoodies. Then I was doing logos and illustrations for donations. Everything was donation, donation, donation. Anything you want, give me a donation, I'll do it, type of thing. And I even put the dog on stage. He played Sandy in a stage show of Annie for like 7 shows, because I could shake a bucket at the end. I said, look, I'll forgo the fee if you let me fundraise. So we did raise the funds. I did have him insured as well, which helped. We did raise the funds, and then we discovered it was both elbows, and then his hips gave out. So it was like, right, so it's 4 limbs. That's really expensive. That's like the price of a new house. It's like, how are we going to do this? But then we discovered like there was no way we could do it. He wouldn't be able to get through all of that. So had a long think, and spoke to the dogs for the and there was no way he was ever going to be able to work in that condition. So I said, okay, I'll keep him. I have him insured. I'll keep him. He's not expected. We had the first operation, and he wasn't expected to live too long. So I said, well, let us give him the best life ever for the short time he has with us. And I thought, oh God, I didn't think that one through, because now somebody needs to be home to look after him while he's recovering. And we had another puppy at that stage, and I was like, yeah, I really do. I was one step at a time. Let's deal with one problem at a time. So I kind of thought, okay, I had a really good training business up and running at the time, and I thought, I can't be out of the house when I have to be here. So I kind of referred all my clients at the time to other local trainers that I trusted. And I had a company I'd set up the previous year called Mighty Dog Graphics, because to me, Jeffy is my mighty dog. So Mighty Dog Graphics. And yet I put a wolfhound on the logo instead of Jeffy, but that's not the point. And yeah, I thought, well, you know what? I'll activate the company and I'll just do graphics and illustrations for the next 6 months while I'm looking after him. I did not know whether it was going to take off or not, but at least I'd be home and hopefully have a bit of income while I'm looking after him and all this. And 10 years later, Mighty Dog Graphics is still going strong, and so is Jeffrey.
That's incredible. I love that.
So it was like, wow.
What a story.
Mighty Dog, yeah, there you go. So
he founded your business, basically.
He did. He ruined my actual business, but he founded my new business. But no, I still do consultancy work, and I still do kind of online, because like back then, as I say, like 10 years, we didn't do Zoom. Mm-hmm. That was like, that would have been the obvious thing to do. Like, oh, I have to stay at home all day and look after the dog. Oh yeah, I can just Zoom you. Whereas it was like, no, we'd be talking on the telephone. I think I'll just pass this over to somebody else. So yeah, so it's those little things. And he is still going strong. He's 11 and a half now. He should be 12 in May. He's not doing too well at the moment. But, after about a year of Mighty Dog, I was thinking, maybe I go back to training. And I was like, no, I'm kind of really enjoying this too much. It's like, and I remember my mom saying to me, you did all your graphics, all your animation, all your artwork to raise money to learn to be a dog trainer. And now you've used all that learning and understanding as a dog trainer and behaviorist to draw bloody pictures of dogs. I said, yeah, but at least I got the anatomy right. So yeah, so my basic at the moment is Mighty Dog graphics. We do illustrations, we do
So cool.
books, illustrations, logos, and stuff like that. And it's actually been quite quiet at the moment because everybody's using Canva and AI, and we just can't compete with that. So I use pencils. I use pencils and pens. I
Yeah,
draw.
but
I
that's,
draw by hand.
yeah, I think, I don't know. Look, there's a place for one thing, but there's like, funny enough, I was actually literally looking at, line art and things. And I'm like, because I have this thing that I want, like, I don't have any tattoos. And I'm like, the only tattoo I want is something with the dogs. And so, like, for something like that, oh, I wouldn't want to do a Canva thing. Oh, no. Like,
Well,
we
the
want a
thing with
real artist for
yeah,
that.
I mean, the thing with Canva as well is that I don't think you get to keep any of the art. I don't think you can copyright it. So you could have like a million people across the planet walking around with the same image. So,
Yeah. No, totally,
that's the
totally. I
thing.
mean, I think there'll always be a place for original artwork because especially I think yours is really it's so niche. So you can't just like, yeah, I think that's pretty clever. And then it's also like, yeah, who says that you can't ever go back to dog training if you wanted to,
Yeah,
you
I
know?
mean, I do keep my hand in with the dog train. As I say, I
Mm,
do a lot of consultancy work and kind of online classes, group classes, like not so much classes because I'm not really into the whole obedience thing where you teach them to walk around in circles to heel. It's more like, what's your dog doing? Well, let's analyze that. And,
yeah.
let's deal with, let's find out why they're doing it and let's give you some options as to what you can do to kind of divert that, kind of get them to do something else. And I love that. It's kind of like, it's like almost like a Sherlock Holmes book where you open the
Yeah.
book and it's like, yes, look at all these clues, let's pull them together. And
Mm,
that actually I love about Into Dogs because, as you know, you had Mark Bridger Pescott on recently. He's the vice
yep,
chair of Into Dogs, and I'm
yep.
the chair. But the two of us are co-directors of the limited company. But we do case study evenings for our full members, and it's just
Mm.
amazing. I love hearing all their case studies, and when you get a group of people, like-minded people, together, you never know who's going to come out with something so simple that you might never have thought of. And that's where the
Yeah.
support and the connection comes in. And
Mm.
that's what Into Dogs is about. It's about connection and this kind of family mentality.
I love that.
So
And I think it's this almost like accelerating experience because you can tap into somebody else's. You don't have to wait until you have a case like that. You can learn from somebody else's cases. So Into
absolutely.
Dogs, is that for professionals only, or is that like could I join it? Or like what's the criteria to
Yeah,
join it?
we accredit trainers and behaviors, but we also have an Into Dogs intro, which is for anybody in the dog community who is considering working with dogs in the future, or just want to be involved. So I mean, it's all up on the website. It's intodogs.net. We kept it simple because I'd forget, and Mark is the brains behind the that's why I draw things by hand. Mark is the brains behind the computer because I am not
That's
tech
funny.
savvy. So I'm not allowed near the website because I keep deleting things.
Oh,
So so I'm
oh,
just
that's
being
funny.
honest. To be honest with you, with Into Dogs, Mark and myself, what you see is what you get. We are open and honest. We are as transparent as we can with everybody. You have a question, we're just going to answer it. We do try to help everybody. We try to promote all our members. We have the public page, the Into Dogs public page. It's called the Association of Into Dogs, and we do try every day to get a post out from one of our members because we have an amazing selection of members who have done so much. They're just an incredible bunch. So many of them have books out as well. So many of them are courses. It's endless. The possibilities are endless with these guys.
I mean,
So
that's actually really
definitely
brilliant,
worth checking
because
out.
if somebody's looking for a professional, like that's a great place to go, right?
Well, the Association of Into Dogs, when I first joined as vice chair, it was under Andrew Hale, who was the chair, and he was one of the founders of the UK Charter, UK Dog Behaviour and Training Charter. So we are one of the founding members of that. So if somebody was joining Into Dogs, they would automatically become a member of the UK Charter as well. But apart from that, if somebody is looking for a trainer, they can look on our website, or they can look on the Charter website, and they'll be guaranteed they'll get somebody with ethics who is
Yeah.
force-free, positive trainers who look not only at the dog, but they look at the person, the lifestyle, a very holistic approach, which I think has been missed in previous
Yeah.
years by so many. You know,
So
we had
true.
this kind of cookie cutter design where, oh, the dog has to sit before it goes out the door. Why? I'm looking at why.
Yeah, no, mine
Dog has
never saw
bad
the
hips.
point of
I'm
that.
not letting him
No.
sit. You
But
know.
that's such a brilliant resource. So we'll definitely obviously pop that below the video. So yeah, and the site to get you as an artist as well, because my mind is spinning. It's like, oh, if you have like training material, or if you want to do
Yeah, I
handouts
do
for
kind
your
of
clients and things like
infographics.
that, it's like, ooh.
Yeah, I do infographics. There's a couple of books I've done. I've done some for Lisa Lau Wagner on rocket recall,
Oh,
because
I
that
had
is
her
pet
on the
peeve.
show recently.
Did you? Oh, here's her
Yes.
book.
Oh,
Yay. Yeah, recall is one of my pet peeves. I love recall. I work on recall every day.
yeah, because
So
it's
it kills me
safety.
when I see a dog off lead that doesn't even know their name, let alone how to come back.
Yeah,
Yeah, so I
awesome.
really loved working on that book. There's also Nicole Wilde, Help for Your Dog Reactive Dog. Fran Hellman, it was now I get it. It was about Clicker. Tony Cruz, I did his cover for Whoops with Wisdom. Shay Kelly's dog training and behavior book, and of course Annie
Awesome.
Phoenix. Yeah,
Love it.
I think a few of my bits are in her last one, with the big long name that neither of us can remember or pronounce. When we're put on the spot.
Love it. Well, I'm going to dig those out. I'm going to dig those out and pop them in the show notes.
I'm sure
Well,
there's more I forgot, and somebody's going to come back to me saying, "Oh my God, you didn't mention my book."
no,
But
well,
you
well,
know,
we'll pop it. If there's something else that pops up, we can always put it. Well, thank you so much. This was so much fun. I'm still giggling at it. So yeah, I think
I did keep the blinds closed, so I didn't
I know,
go
but
on fire. So we're
next time
grand.
we're gonna just pull out some artwork. But yeah, thank you so much for coming. This was just
No problem.
delightful.
Yeah, you can find Mighty Dog on Facebook, because, as I was saying to you earlier, my site was hacked and it went to an Asian porn site, so that wasn't too good. So yeah. And I
Well,
have not gotten around to resetting the website because I hardly ever used it anyway. That's how it got hacked, and I didn't notice
oh,
until,
all
yeah.
righty. We're gonna point it to the Facebook page then.
Yeah, well,
So,
let's just deal with the Facebook page.
yeah, awesome. Well, thank you, and I hope to speak to you again soon.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much for listening. If you enjoyed the episode, don't forget to subscribe and leave a review so other dog lovers can find the show. If you haven't already, head over to soultouchedbydogs.com and sign up for weekly doggy cuteness, tips, recommendations, and personal stories to warm your dog-loving heart. And if you know a awesome human you think I should interview, I'd love an introduction. Email me at Anke, that's ANKE, @soultouchedbydogs.com.